Hey everybody, welcome to the Outer Rim Rookie, a beginner's journey to joining the 501st and Rebel Legion. My name is Rob Williams. Today is part 2 of our AT-AT driver helmet build. In part 1, we focused on the shell of it, the face mask, the ears, the mohawk, all that sort of stuff. In part 2, we're going to focus on the Greeblies, what separates this from a TIE pilot helmet, besides the color. We're going to be talking about the decals, hoses, paint, and my favorite part, the clock gears. We're going to dive into the CRL and talk about all the details that need to be there, and then I'm going to show you how I put this together. So let's get to it. Let's start with the CRL. Here we go. All right, so here's the bucket, looking good, looking good. Got my CRL ready to go. Let's go over it. Now, first off, it talks about the trident and how the plinth goes about halfway down the brow, which we got right here. On the top, we have a red diamond painted on the tip. On either side of the mohawk, it's supposed to have trapezoidal shaped caps, squares. This one is red, this one is gray. And right above the gray one, we have a little red dot. There's a silver knob right here underneath the trident. We have 2 red Imperial cogs on either side of the trident. Now it talks about flat or bubble lenses. I went with flat and I went with black. With the flat, you can go with green or black. Now I've heard rumors that if you get the bubble lenses, it is harder to see, but it is more accurate to the movie. There are 2 black soda siphon Greeblies on either side. That's what this part here is. There's a ribbed gray tube right on either side as well, attached to the siphons. A tape button Greebly, and that's where these are from an old tape recorder. The mouth frown is black with this red little tooth. I don't know why it was designed like that. I kind of like it. It gives a little bit of a yuck into it. Now there are supposed to be 2 aluminum tusks here. As I said before, I'm leaving those till last so it doesn't get banged around. I have 2 versions. This one here is made of actual aluminum. It's got some weight to it, but I couldn't figure out how to attach it to the bucket. These are the ones I got from Pilot Bay. They're made of plastic and I spray painted them silver, and one of them has a little red tip at the end, with this side being red and this side not having a tip at all. Holding the tusks are half moon discs. There's a lot of different versions you can find out there. This is the one that was provided by Pilot Bay, so I stuck with these ones. The center of the vocoder, which is right here, 3 of the lines are painted black. The one in the middle is shorter than the 2 on the outside, and it goes all the way to the bottom. On the cheek tubes, there are 3 black stripes, each one thicker than the next, going from down up. You can see it on either side. On the back, we have the pillbox. It needs to be black, with a small red square just above on the left there. On the back, you have to have 2 canisters. Now, there are 2 different designs on how to do these canisters. I went with the gray one since that was the colors I have, with the left side having a large black section here, and the right side with a red strip and 2 red lines at the top. I do have a graphic on the 2 choices you can have for these canisters on my Outer Rim Rookie Facebook site, so check that out. Link below. This is where the hose will attach, which I'm still trying to figure out, and there's also supposed to be a little silver knob on the top here as well. You'll also notice I put a little red square here, a little red dot on the right side. I still have to put the white sticker to cover this screw here. I'm just holding off just in case something goes wrong. And over here, there's supposed to be a little red dot, which I gotta tidy up. I'm not really a big fan of this dot. I gotta clean it up a bit. You also notice on the soda siphon, there's a bit of red to make it look like wires. I also added a lining all the way around, which I'll talk about in the video. Now, one optional customization you can do with this is the red stripe. I had to add some color to this. I really like the looks of it, and I'm so glad I was able to pull it off. It looks great from a distance and takes away from the plain whiteness of it. And there you go. There is the AT-AT driver helmet and the Greeblies that go with it. Now, let's show you how I built it. The first thing I needed to do was add these half-moon tusk spacers. I just needed to make sure that they were flush and pointing in the same direction. Next were my favorite part of the entire costume, the clock gears. The right clock gear has to be tilted just at about 5 o'clock. The left one straight down at 6 o'clock. I needed to drill some holes down, but it went in quite easily. Then it was time to add the silver button right in between the forehead. Again, make sure you have space underneath the trident. After that, it was time to put on the buttons. These buttons were tricky because the screw's flathead was not flush enough, so I had to drill in some space into the button just so it could be a little more flat. When it was time to add the pillbox, I needed to measure really carefully. I went about 1¼ inches up from the edge of the bucket. I also wanted to screw it in, like a lot of my other Greeblies, because this sucker is going to get banged around. If it's screwed in, it will stay in. For lining, someone told me to use some weather stripping for doors, and it was the perfect suggestion. Very inexpensive and easy to find, and easy to install. I would work slowly around the bucket, making sure I glue, then fasten, then wait. Glue, fasten, wait, glue, fasten, wait. Now it's time to spray paint the canisters. At first I taped it up and I forgot that I need to spray paint the entire thing with a primer. So I sprayed it down and then let her dry. I had a couple choices of which design I wanted, so I stuck with one that was easiest for me and used less colors. Once it was dry, I decided to tape out the section which I needed to paint black. After watching this video, I realized I had made an error, so I'm probably going to go back after this and edit slightly. But it still looks really good. For the other canister, I had to tape out where I'm going to put the red stripe. I used a red acrylic paint. It was a tad messy, but I was able to fix it up at the end, as well as add some nice clean red stripes on the top. Laying out the holes for the canister was very tricky. One of the canisters was a little more lopsided than the other. So I really made sure I took my time and measured again and again. Once I got comfortable, I started drilling in the holes. I decided to insert some plastic strips on the inside to take the weight off the canister. The hoses are going to cause a little bit of pull and strain on the bucket, so I think this is going to relieve a lot of that stress. Now comes time for a major part of the painting process, to tape out the area of where I'm going to put the red stripes. I covered the entire bucket with painter's tape and plastic bags, trying to make sure that no paint would get in through the cracks. On the more difficult parts, like the mouth, I tried to make sure there was a nice smooth line with the painter's tape. I started with the black primer, making sure I got all the spaces, taking my time and giving it a couple coats. Although you can probably tell I was a bit nervous. This whole painting experience, much like most of the building experience, has been kind of like, can't hold your breath and just open, shit turns right. Once the paint was dry and I felt comfortable, it was time to apply the acrylic paint again. I would give this a couple coats as well, but make sure I use nice smooth strokes and reduce the lines in the paint. I would prefer an enamel paint, but I couldn't find any, so this will have to do. Once I was done it, I also gave it a protective coat, which I didn't record. All right, time to open it up. Oh crap. Sneak through. Okay. Some messiness here. Okay, well, it's a bit frustrating. Now for the stripe. All right, so far so good. No paint sprays. Okay, that's good, that's good. A bit of extra, I think I can scrape that off, but that's fine. Okay, it's okay, it's okay. I think I misjudged the size of that one, but I can scrape off the edges a little bit there. It's all right, it's all right, it's all right. This turned out well. Right there, I can scrape off a little bit of the edges. I wonder if there's any way to get rid of this. That's what I'm concerned about right there. Spray paint out there. All right. Now I just need 2 dots there. The bad news, there was a hole in the plastic bag and a bit of the spray paint got through. The good news is, I was able to remove it with a magic eraser and a little bit of patience. Yes. Nice. While I have the paint out, I may as well add some small details like the red dots on the clock gears, as well as the side of the earpiece. The painting's done, now it's time to add the rest of the Greeblies on. The soda siphon was hollow inside, so I decided to get some foam just to fill in the space, and it fit perfectly. I also decided to put a little foam on the inside as well, so the hose has something to stick to. This is one of those rare times that I used hot glue. It was thicker than the E6000 and would fill in some of those spaces. I also needed to add the white stickers onto the play button. When gluing on the play button and the hose, I used a combination of E6000 as well as hot glue. Adding the decals to the top of this bucket was probably one of the most stressful parts of this build. I was constantly measuring and laying it out. My buddy Hosenose suggested I give the decal a little cut. This will prevent it from bubbling, especially on a curved surface like this helmet. And I can overlap the edge right at the end. That was fun. Let's do it again. It's so freaking stressful. Oh yeah. Oh, all right. Oh, now that that's done, let's put the lenses on. I added some foam around the eyes so the lens had something to attach to. Walt provided these green lenses, but I found it extremely disorienting. My friend Terry suggested I use these face shield replacements that he found on Amazon. They're sturdy, clear, a bit stiff, but I have so much I can use it just in case I break one. I used hot glue for this as well because it was a little bit thicker. The last detail to add were the decals for the cheek hoses. This was a little bit late, but it still looks great. So there you go, there's all the Greeblies. It's looking pretty good. There is a lot of real estate inside this bucket, and I got to figure out how I'm going to put padding in this thing. Look at this space. Now, one of the challenges I got to figure out, besides the padding, is how high is it going to fit, and how is it going to fit on my shoulders? I got quite wide shoulders, and they sit quite high up, so I got to make sure this bucket sits a little bit higher. But the visibility is really good. I can see quite well in this. This is so good. I love this. I am so proud of this. Look at this bad boy. Now, if I put it right to the top of my head, it is really... I got no neck Joe. Ideally, this is probably what I want right here. But as you can see, the back of the helmet is quite high. So the balaclava is going to hide some things, but I don't want to see what's inside the bucket. So I'm going to really have to hide a lot of this area here with some nice padding. There's also quite a few screws sticking out here, ready to go drill into my head. But other than that, I'm not too worried about this. There you go. As you can tell, I'm quite excited. It took me a while to get back into the excitement of this because I tell you right now, this was extremely frustrating. Putting these decals on, I think I said in the video, I was holding my breath. I think I breathed like 2 times within an hour. And yeah, there's some cleaning up that needs to be done. There's some hot glue sticking out here and some other glue spots in some other places. And I gotta get rid of some of the pencil marks. But besides that, I'm pretty happy about this. There you go. I hope you learned something. Hope you got something out of this. Next, I gotta focus on the hoses. I gotta focus on the chest piece and shoulders, and then we're ready to go. We're coming close. I'd say I'm about 75% done, maybe 80% done. But those hoses are gonna be really tricky. So I gotta figure out a plan with this one. There you go. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, help the channel grow. And don't forget to check out the Generation X-Wing podcast, where we go live every second Thursday and we talk about movies, pop culture, Star Wars, you name it, we talk about it. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later. And remember, armor and helmets are built on hope. Bye.